I'd like to call to order the Wednesday, December 14th, 2022, Townsend Conservation Commission. Can I have a roll call, please?
Joan Savoy present.
James Gates,
Anna LaFleur.
Kevin Snow.
You're muted, Linda.
Linda Mack, present.
Thank you, Linda.
Meeting is being video recorded. Is anyone else recording? Chairman's additions and or deletions. I do not have any, right, Jessica? No, didn't have anything. There's been a lot of emails lately. Chair's report. So Friday, before Thanksgiving, what the exact date was. Yeah, the 18th. I went out to Doc McGee's to look at it to see if we could determine where the water issue was stemming from, and we did find a foundation drain that was draining into that swale that had consistent heavy flow. So I recommended that he talk to the building inspector and see where that goes. And I know it's in Jessica's agent report too, because there's other top or issues with it. So yeah.
Why I'm
that's all I
so-
have. Linda?
Can I say something? So
Yes.
if it's a perimeter drain on a foundation, which it sounds like it is,
Well, so that's one of the issues. There's other conversations being had about it, but continue.
you know, there's really nothing we can do about that. That's part of when that house was built. And it was built probably 40, 50 years ago. But there are wetlands across the street that are part of the drainage also. And I think, I'm not sure, are you thinking the building inspector, what would the building inspector be able to do? What are you thinking?
Well, it's a civil matter at this point because they're discharging onto someone else's property. So, and what wetlands across 119 are you thinking of?
So if you look on the maps, there's wetlands that are behind the Gary's farm stand. And there is drainage that the town has addressed to have it. I mean, you can see the culvert, right?
Yeah, that culvert is actually plugged. That goes
Right.
under 119.
So
That's all.
I think that to me is more of a problem, is that we need to get the highway department to unplug it.
That's,
Yeah.
well, that's a state road.
That's
So.
a state road.
Oh,
That's-
then the
that's-
state.
And I know Jessica might bring it up, but the Doc McGee did have the DOT down to look at it also. So
The point I'm making is that I think that has been a wetland for a very long time. I mean, Kevin, maybe you know different. I think what I heard is that you used to hay that for him. So Kevin, you've been around a long time.
Between our family and the Shepherd family, we've paid that for about 75 years.
Yeah,
There's a ditch there. There's a drain across the road by Chuck's that goes underneath 119. It's a state DOT drain.
yeah.
It drained into that field, and for as long as I can remember, there was a ditch there. As a matter of fact, our family dug that ditch in sometime around 1978, I believe, was the last time that ditch was cleaned out. There was a trench there. This time when Doc McGee cleaned it out, I was not involved in any of it, and he hired a contractor, and they cut a swale. They just took they took the old growth, the brush that was growing in the ditch. They took that out and they didn't redig the ditch.
Right.
My opinion, the ditch just needs to be redone because I believe there's some stone. My grandfather, I remember him telling me when I was a young lad that there was some stone interceptor ditches or dewatering ditches, you might call them, that were put in there sometime probably back in the Windcrest days when the Fessenden family owned it.
Mhm.
Windcrest being the house right there. When you just crest the hill on the right-hand side, that was Rob Fesden's, I believe. And
Yeah.
that was a nice field in there, and I think they put those drains in, and they just need to be opened back up, and that field will probably dry out.
Yeah,
Everything.
it doesn't look like there's enough of
The
a,
drain, that house that you're referring to was the dentist office,
Mhm.
as I recall from family chats over the years. I think that building was built about 1968.
yeah, 66. The Doc McGee had the original site plan
And
with the
then in
septic plan.
66, that was built as Doc Marriott's dentist office, which he ran for.
Yeah,
So family dentist, my dentist, and that, I'm sure that permitted drain, I believe my father or Bob Robichaud did the site in the mid-60s, and that permitted drain was probably put in there at that time. It
right.
was ran down off to the side of the building, as I recall, and ran into that ditch. So
Mhm.
wherever the end of that pipe is running now on top of the ground, I think it used to drop into a ditch.
Yeah,
How long has Doc McGee been in that property?
Dr. McGee bought that when Paul McCauley died,
what's that?
before Paul passed away.
Oh,
I was supposed to get it, I was supposed to do the job for Paul Nicole, get it cleaned, just cleaned out the ditch. That's just maintenance on agricultural.
That's right, Paul Nicoli owned that. So,
Oh,
so I
That was
think Doc
probably-
McGee, the point is that I think Doc McGee bought the property and it already had these issues, right?
No, just the ditch just need to be maintained. The field's it's been a wet field.
Right.
Because the ditch, like I said, the last time the ditch was cleaned up, last time I know the field was plowed, I plowed it in 1978 for Roy Shepherd.
Yeah,
And he took it over. That's when our family gave it up for a time. He took it over in 1978. I believe.
so has it changed much? Is it
Yeah, the ditch
still
just needs
as
to be
wet
cleaned
as
up.
it always was?
Linda, we have to,
Silted in, the ditch is silted in, and the
Yeah.
ditch just needs to be opened back up. We'll drop the
Right.
water table down a couple of feet, get
Yeah.
everything to run
Okay.
down through. There was a silt catcher at the bottom of the field. That point, and the silt could build up in the little trench area at the bottom of the field, which.
So James needs to move on. I can hear him having anxiety.
no,
No worries.
no. Yeah, no, this isn't an issue that's being put to bed right now or probably in the next meeting or two. It's something that's gonna be ongoing that, Jessica and I also went out there last Friday, to check on things and look things over. So,
So at some point, I do want to have some input as to how this is being dealt with because
it will be, Linda, it will be.
I
brought
feel like
back.
it's not being handled so well. I'm sorry. I don't mean to criticize anybody, but I think, it's been like 2 or 3 months and we're just kind of not, we need to nip it in the bud and get it dealt with. That's all. I just hate things lingering on and
I agree. And I'm sure Jessica will cover more of this in her agent's report.
okay.
So,
But we need to start our hearing, please.
yes. So we're gonna move the 1.5, 1.6 until, or to our work session. It's 7:10. We have a notice of intent hearing, DEP number 308-0695, Towns and Wetlands Bylaw number 2022-139, applicants, Towns and Water Department, locations, portions of the roadway, right, way of Harbor Trace Road, South Street, South Harbor Road, Ash Street, South Row Road, and Emery Road. Project status. The proposed project is for the development of a PFAS water treatment plant off of Harbor Trace Road and associated water lines along the above referenced roads. Part of the construction will take place within bordering land subject to flooding, riverfront areas, and 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetlands. We've already opened this hearing at the last meeting, and we're going to continue, and Jessica This might be best if you lead it along of what we needed, do we have it all?
Yeah, so we have since received the DEP comments, which I'm trying to pull everything up right now. DEP comments, we have the comments from all the state agencies for the environmental notification too. So as the local conservation commission, you guys are responsible to make sure that all of those comments from all the agencies are actually applied and considered. So I've already been doing that on your behalf the past month. So I think we are pretty much up to speed on all agency comments and considerations. So DEP comments included the NHESP priority habitat. So that has been addressed. At this point, we still have some ongoing reports that will need to be done. We'll revisit that in a second. DEP recommended existing conditions and proposed crossing details for all the culverts. That they be included in the approved plan. So over the last few weeks too, the applicant has since proposed that all culverts will be crossed via directional drilling instead of open trench. And then details on the location of stockpiling should be included in the approved plans, which we also have locations for that. So the newest plans that reflect all of these comments are right there in scroll form. But otherwise, yeah, if you guys just wanna, who was not here last time? You were not here for it, correct? Okay. You want me to give their overview? Yeah, since I guess what we presented last time has changed. Yeah. Maybe just revisit that. I can do screen share if needed, or if you're on Zoom, you can do it. I'm not on Zoom, but I guess if you, or maybe if Mary wants.
Yeah. Yep, I can share, I guess, either the wetlands overview figures or the plans, whichever would be more helpful.
Maybe the overview.
Looked at the ortho image last meeting.
Hartley, can you give Mary Danielson screen sharing permission, please?
Okay, give me a couple of minutes, seconds here. Thank you. Okay, Mary, go right ahead.
Perfect. Appears to be working. Can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead and talk and just let me know if you need me to scroll.
So the Townsend Water Department is proposing the construction of a new PFAS water treatment plant off of Harbor Trace Road. This NOI was filed for the associated water main work, so the actual water treatment plant is not within jurisdiction, any buffer zones or anything. But the water mains, there will be two water mains. One is 4,400 linear feet, the other is 11,000. So it's quite long, but they run down, Mary, if you want to go to the next. Yeah, so it runs from the new water treatment plant down, I think that's South Harbor Road, and then it goes down Ash Street. And so so this portion right here that goes down Ash Street from the water treatment plant is the raw water transmission main, and this is in bordering land subject to flooding. It's in the buffer zone of a wetland and also the local buffer zone to bordering land subject to flooding. And then the looping water main, which starts at that intersection of Ash Street, goes all the way down South Harbor down to South Row Road, and all the way down up Emery Road. And so this one is has more resource area impacts. Mainly it has bordering land subject to flooding, riverfront area of 2 perennial streams, and then a bunch of buffer zone impacts. So all of the work is going to be within the roadway. A portion of it is exempt as utility maintenance, except for the portions that are within BLSF. But there are several culverts as well along the road. And as Jessica mentioned, those will be accomplished, the crossings will be accomplished via horizontal directional drilling beneath or above, beneath, right? Yeah, beneath, beneath the culverts, to avoid any impact. Some of them are shallow. And yeah, I think that's it. And the water treatment plant is in that rare species habitat. And a portion of the water main is, but that is also exempt because it's within the roadway, but not the water treatment plant. So it's kind of like a two-part thing there, but yeah.
I have a question. So primarily the work outside of buffer zones and such will be done with open trenches still. Yeah, but then closer to the culverts, you're gonna go under with directional drilling. How close to the culverts will you convert from open trench to directional? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like 10 feet, like, is there a plan yet? Is it still going to happen within the buffer zone?
We usually try to back up about 150 feet away from the culvert. You know, so we can, you know, have time to dip the pipe down. I mean, they can make adjustments as needed, but due to the fact that really just not installing a lot of service connections on this line, it's just cost effective for us to directional drill more. So, you know, we give ourselves plenty of room, straight shot. It can do a little bit of a bending, curving through the directional drill process, but we try to minimize that to make it easier for them. But they can, we show it as a straight shot on the plans, but we've seen them, you know, go slightly deflecting because the pipe is deflectible.
Most everything in there is in, that's all sand, most everything with the directional going.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you know, we
Sandy's
could
still-
cross over a couple
We
of
could
culverts, but when we laid out the directional drill, it
Well,
just didn't make sense to pull up out of the ground and then do, you know, so we just cleared them all. Cause they can do 500,000 feet in a single shot, so.
Who are you speaking to about the rare species, please? Who are you dealing with?
The contact for that, I think might be, Misty and Merrill. Or Melanie Cheeseman at Natural Heritage.
Have they weighed in yet?
We received comments, we do need a turtle protection plan for work that is in the active season. Specifically for the water treatment plant. I believe their comments said that they recommend covering trenches in the roadway that will be like left when work is like stalled for more than 24 hours, but the turtle protection plan would be for the water treatment plant. Because the work in the roadway is exempt because it's in the roadway.
And you know, all trenches would either be backfilled or maybe a small area would be plated, you know, for them to not have to dig back down to begin work again the next day, but those really are minimized.
Even then, it's the smell of the fresh dirt, but.
Right,
It's weird. It's.
yeah, a lot of times they'll
It
just put
tracks them
a,
or something.
that's what I have heard, right?
So last time, I think I wanted to see plans that showed siltation control and all of that. Do we have those this time? Is that what these are? It's hard to see on the computer.
Yes,
Set them all along.
Okay,
they're included, like you said, kind of hard to see on
yeah.
these plans,
There's
but
one in there.
this is
Good. Okay.
anywhere there's, impact, with the exception of like driveways. Obviously, we're not going to block someone's driveway, but
Right.
they are throughout the project site, and there are details in the back end, the sheets as well.
Good. Thank you.
They've also added the watering discharge detail as well, so.
Nice.
Open it up to questions, comments. Commission. Jessica,
I've been doing all my
Any-
questions.
I don't see it.
anyone else that's here, anyone that's joined us, if you don't mind signing in also as being part of the. Please witness the hearing part, so.
I don't have any questions. I think we covered them.
Yeah.
They're pretty
Yeah.
much, it's cut and dry, nice plan.
Yep. It's good.
Nice, yeah, nice job.
Much needed.
Very much needed.
And much dictated.
Yeah.
You know how far below the culvert you'll be drilling, like what the clearance would be?
Yeah, we're targeting 5 feet separation, so we don't have to worry about freezing. Minimal risk on most of those small diameter culverts anyway, but
And the invert level of the proposed water main is on that revised sheet that I sent you.
Vaguely.
So you can see the elevation of where the pipes.
Yeah,
are
the only, this
supposed to
is
be
simple, the only
beneath the-
challenge, that's all right.
Excellent, okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a deep culvert.
Yeah.
That's a simple.
Pat,
Go like hell.
do you mind just announcing the time that you're joining us, please?
Yes, it's
7:23.
7:23. I'm Pat General. Sorry, I'm late. I fell asleep in my chair.
So we're talking about the water line and the water treatment plant for Harbor Trace. Do you have any questions or comments for them? They've made some adjustments to their plan and added some details. I don't know if you want.
Okay.
Is National Heritage requiring any sort of turtle watch? Or
We anticipate, since we just went through this on another project, that they will pre-approve the biologist that will train the contractor at the beginning of the project, show them how they have to do their daily sweeps, keep a log of that, and basically what to do in the event that they do find turtle, and just daily opening and closing of the site. We did put some of the standard turtle for barriers that we used on that project that they pre-approved for that other project, so we assume this will, they'll carry forward to this one. Anything else that they?
I think that covers it.
so they're requiring documentation or
We have we'll have a letter report format turtle protection plan that kind of lays things out, which we've already got one pulled together. It's just a matter of having them review it. And, typically, they just want to see that that's in place before the start of construction, which isn't scheduled for another 6 months.
now is Ty and Bond or Dave going to be doing periodic inspections of the siltation barriers or?
Yeah, for the water main, we'll have someone on site while they are installing pipe and underground, so full time. And we will also have someone full time at the treatment plant site as their work is going into the ground. You know, after they get up and out of the ground, we can relax and not be there full time. But for the most part, for the first 6 months, we'll be there full time and see that those measures are established and then obviously there several times a week to verify they're continuing.
And keep an eye on the weather also in case we get a rainstorm.
Yeah, the contractor will be required to prepare and file a SWIP for the project.
Good,
So that definitely will get included in that as well.
nice, good.
The stormwater permit from the planning board generally also has a condition that says that the inspection form will need to be filled out after like 1-inch rain events or something anyway, so.
Are there any other questions or comments?
No, I'm good. Yeah.
Linda, do you have anything else?
No, that's it for me.
Quiet.
I'm good. Thanks.
Pat, I know you're looking to it again, but
Yeah, well, I had, looked up some of this earlier, so
Low traffic here.
I'm good.
So just for you guys' knowledge, I'm looking at the NAGSP response. So they do acknowledge that the roadway mapped habitat, which is by South Harbor and South Row,
The intersection.
and then down by South Row and Emery,
I
is
think-
their habitat there?
I think it's just the old Meeting House Road, just south.
There were three more. Oh, and then Jeff right down by Ash Street. So those, they acknowledge that that's gonna be work within paved roads. So they're just recommending that all trenches are covered or backfilled for work stoppage more than 24 hours between April 15th and October 1st. And then down at the water plant site, which again, no wetland buffer is being impacted. That's when they will implement the turtle protection plan, because there would not be any time of year restrictions being adhered to. So,
Jessica, a recommendation is only that then. Right, so it could be ignored technically, since it's only a recommendation.
recommendation to cover the trenches at the end of the workday.
It's
So
not,
that's like a human safety thing anyway, so
And that
That's
will-
an ocean.
like that would be
Yeah, they can't leave it open.
They're gonna
Yeah.
plate, they have to plate.
not legal.
any hole like greater than I think like 6
They have
inches.
to be
You have to
weighted.
have a plate over it.
Yeah.
So.
Joan, that's a good question. I mean, I think it's it's part of our job to make sure things are done the way things are recommended, so we make sure they do it.
So that's where you guys come
Reach
in,
on.
but condition worded accordingly
yeah,
covers that.
I appreciate that.
Were all the DEP comments addressed?
Yep.
So. We don't have any other further questions, so
I move we close the hearing, or
Well,
do we have to state our, what's the next step, James?
Orders of condition?
order conditions.
Conditions,
and,
yes.
Accept it. Or approve it, so. Jessica, what is your
So I, in the
recommendation?
OneDrive, already drafted an order of conditions for this. And I put a bunch of special conditions, like very site specific ones. Has anyone looked at that?
I looked at it.
Okay. So yes, this is the attachment A, this is the wetlands bylaw order. Standard order condition, otherwise, one special condition is that there are 3 locations within the project footprint, and I note where they are within mapped NHESP priority habitat. Work must be conducted in accordance with the conditions set in the Mass Wildlife Letter dated November 16th, with an associated tracking number, as well as the site-specific turtle protection plan. A copy of the approved turtle protection plan and any further comments from Mass Wildlife must be provided to the commission prior to the start of work.
Thank you.
That's one of them.
Yep.
Good. These are just my thoughts. So of course, they're free to amend. A pre-construction evaluation of existing culvert crossings must be sent to the Conservation Commission prior to the start of work at crossing. Additionally, a post-construction evaluation of culvert crossings must be sent to Conservation Commission following completion of work at each crossing and or at the time of filing for the request for certificate of compliance. Should any culvert failure occur during I wrote this before the directional drilling. Anyway, should any culvert failure occur during the work, the commission must be notified immediately in order to issue an emergency certification for a culvert replacement. I need to update that. Next one, stop. A lot of these are already sort of addressed, but I think they're important to cover again anyway. Stockpiling of excavated materials is not allowed within resource boundaries or their respective buffer areas. Damage to native vegetation within buffer areas during work is to be replaced at a 1-to-1 ratio.
Kevin,
Sorry.
Hate to be a teacher. Okay. All open trenches must be closed and properly marked at the end of each workday. Dewatering, if needed, must be conducted in accordance with the details provided on the approved plan set, and direct discharges to resource areas are prohibited. Following utility installation and repaving of disturbed areas, no asphalt may be swept or discarded into resource areas or their buffers. Conservation Commission must be contacted for an inspection of erosion and sedimentation control barriers at each culvert crossing prior to any ground disturbing work. So that one is, I mean, I don't know if all ENS controls are going up at once, or it's gonna kind of be done in phases, so that's,
Yeah.
You know.
usually they-
That's important, I think, and that would be Jessica, you'd go out and look at them, or to make sure they're in,
yeah, I mean, depends on when they go in, if I'm back yet or not, but yeah. Work, if not,
or we can have commissioners do it if you're not around.
so, the baby needs to nap in the car, then I'm all over this. And then, yeah, any changes to the plans or scope of work during other board or committee reviews must be provided to the Conservation Commission. We see that a lot, you know, other committee reviews have amendments to the plans happening, and then plan changes are made, and 2 years later, we're going out with the wrong plan. So
Those are great.
that's what I
Yeah.
propose.
Really
Obviously,
good
we
job.
add, delete, and then whatever.
Very
But-
thorough, thank you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Very thorough. Great job.
So we motion to approve based on just the order of conditions Jessica just read.
I'll make a motion. Oh, go ahead. I'll second it then.
Go ahead, Linda.
I'll make a motion to approve the orders of condition that Jessica just read.
Second,
Roll call vote, please.
Joan Savoy, yes.
Pat General, yes.
James Gates, yes.
And look where yes, but I have a question to ask. Do we not need to include the DEP number and the Townsend Wetland Bylaws number
We do.
in this? So amendment to the
Motion.
motion,
Mhm.
state the DEP number 308-0695 TWB 2022-139.
Thanks. I didn't have that in front of me.
So, Kevin, you,
Yes. Kevin, yes.
Linda, yes.
now we need a motion and a second to close the hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
I'll
for the Townsend
second.
Water Department.
Do we have to say the numbers for that? You have to say-
May as well. Feel it, but-
We don't have a meeting for a month. We forget how to do everything.
Amendment to the, close the hearing to include the DEP number of 308-0695 and the TWB 2022-139. Second,
Roll call vote, please.
Savoy, yes.
Pat Jamal, yes.
James Gates, yes.
And Lacroix, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Linda Mack, yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
folks.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna fully draft that and then
Thank you.
get it signed by the commissioners hopefully in the next week or two. We have 21 days to issue. And then, David, I will follow up with you with the hard copy to get recorded at the registry of deeds, and then I'll email everyone a PDF of it as well. Thank you very much.
Happy holidays to you.
Thank you.
too.
Happy holidays.
So we're a little early for Aaron and Wendy Williams, which is also their thing. So why don't we finish off 1.5, review and approve the meeting minutes from 10/26/22 to 11-9-22.
Can I say something before we vote to approve? Thank you. Jessica, the 10/26 minutes, that Matt, you so expertly did the minutes, thank you very much. I just want to remind us that we discussed at that meeting the verbiage about, you were going to speak with Adam about the verbiage, about the definition of agricultural use and changes we might want to make to that. And you said you were going to get with Adam before any of that. So that's just a reminder. That was section 3.6.
Okay, I have not met with Adam about chapter 150 yet.
Okay.
Because I was not able, I think he was here like right after Thanksgiving.
All
I'm not
right.
able to, but
Thank you.
still
So,
on my list.
and the other
sometime.
thing is, please just remember to add it was also in the minutes, my thing, did you know? So further down the road when we're not so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Did you send Jessica the example?
Yes, but I actually have an updated, I'm gonna send you the updated example. It's got pictures and everything.
Not gonna.
Yeah, I sent it a while ago, actually. I'll send it
It
again. 'cause I-
was sent a while ago. It's something that we haven't
Yeah.
had to get to,
Okay.
which
that's
Joan,
probably
Yeah.
what-
I've got a new one.
Okay,
So thank you. So with, if nobody has anything about the 10:26 minutes, anything else?
No.
I make a motion to accept the 10:26:22 minutes as written.
Second,
does anyone have any comments for about 11:09?
We have to vote on 10:26.
Okay,
Joan Savoy, yes.
Pat,
Pat Gemini, yes.
James Gates, yes.
And I'll put a yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Linda Mack, yes.
11-9-22 meeting minutes.
I'm good.
Yeah, I was, sorry.
So is that a motion and a second then?
Motion to accept 11/9/22 meeting
Second.
minutes.
Roll call vote, please.
Joan Savoy, yes.
Pat Gemini, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Yeah, like, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Linda Mack, yes.
All right. 7:39, we have a couple minutes. So Jessica, agent report.
so this covers work from November 7th to December 9th. Building permit interdepartmental sign offs were for 142 Pierce Road and 268 Wallace Hill Road. We completed the referrals for 75 Pierce Road, and then for the zoning bylaw amendment to chapter 145-42 for site plan review special permit, and 145-54.1 for age restricted development. Board of Health interdepartmental signatures for 310 Main Street, 15 Depot Street, and 76 Brookline Street. We completed the approval for the request for order of condition extension at 27 Scaled Lane. That extension permit was issued on November 14th for an additional year. And then we completed the request for COC at 6 Ball Road, and that was issued on November 14th. Applications we have in right now, or as of that date range that I gave earlier, were the NOI for Harbor Trace Water Treatment Plant and associated water lines. We did a lot of planning and review for that, had some public inquiries. We opened the hearing on November 9th. Reviewed all of the state federal agency comments. And then had a little more coordination with the applicant about scope of work. We have an NOI intake for 5 Madison Avenue. That came in on this November 16th. We had a site visit last week on the 7th. We have a RDA at Squanicook Meadows for habitat maintenance, intake on November 21st, site visit on December 7th. Talk about that later. We had an intake for requests for COC at 10 to 12 Spalding Street. I conducted an inspection on November 30th. We have a request for a partial COC at 4 Alyssa Drive. An inspection was done on December 9th. And then latest update on the NOI for the ecological NOI for the Squanicook Wildlife Management Area over on Shirley Road. The hearing was requested to be continued until September 2023. Miscellaneous items, I had a site visit to Campbell Farm up on North End Road on November 9th in response to their request for compliance certifications for other land use permits. I prepared a summary report for them as a stormwater agent. I attended a DEP webinar on stream crossing standards on November 17th. We visited a town property that we'll talk about tonight also, but with natural heritage staff to just get their take on some proposed habitat maintenance. That was on November 16th. I conducted a conservation order conditions compliance inspection at Three Wheeler Road on December 7th and prepared a summary report for them. Follow up from a few months ago on 61 Edward Road down by the fire station. They have all the trash on the hill slope, debris. The owner was notified via two letters back in like March, April, May of this year. And then when Mike Riley still worked here, he made 2 in-person visits as well. To try to coordinate removal of that debris. We were unable to make contact with him after that, so I have mailed 2 additional letters since. And still have not heard contact, but the latest deadline that the owner was given was November 30th to clean up, at which point Conservation Commission could go back in if they wanted to consider any enforcement of that.
What
We
would,
do not have any response from the owner.
what would enforcement look like, please?
I mean, it's just like trash in the no touch buffer and in the wetlands. Fortunately, the trash in the wetlands has been pulled out.
Oh, that's
Not
good.
trash, lawnmowers.
By
Right.
Mike Bradley.
By my,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, God bless him. Good for
Um,
him.
But
Right,
otherwise, I think knowing some challenges that owner is dealing with, I would recommend that we try to maybe coordinate with other volunteers or something to help them out.
My concern.
How long was that going on? It seems like that's been going on a while, hasn't it?
I guess there was some windstorm where a lot of stuff blew down.
It's been like that since I can remember.
But it's been like that for a long time.
Yeah.
And then just the deterioration of the residents' health has made it very difficult, I think, to clean up the property. So that's why I would recommend a more humane approach.
Oh, Jessica, if the occupant was originally corresponding with and open to the commission and is no longer that way, then how do
I
we?
don't think it's no longer that way. I think. I don't like to say this in public.
Well, let's, you can,
Okay.
how do we get the stuff out of there?
Face-to-face
How do
contact
we
is
get the stuff
probably
out of
going to
there?
be the only
Okay,
way to
Can-
communicate.
can we do that and then we'll get volunteers amongst ourselves to go get the
But
stuff
I do know
out?
that might
So-
go up.
So I don't think it's appropriate for the Conservation Commission to get volunteers and to do that. I actually think it's not appropriate. It's nice, but it's not appropriate for us to be doing that. So I would recommend that we actually send him a letter that says, you know, by this date, he has to get the stuff out. Otherwise, fines will ensue. We can do a nice letter, but still the fines will start to happen. And I think you can recommend that, you know, maybe he can go to the high school and, you know, he can maybe get some volunteers from some of the kids at the high school and stuff like that. But he needs to address it. And there needs to be a timeline and then, yeah,
excuse me,
start
Linda,
finding.
I think you're missing the point is the fact that the man is very
That's old.
handicapped and old. And probably is not financially suited to be paying all types of fines. I believe that the man needs help. That was Mike Crowley's interpretation of the situation.
Yeah,
And
No, I agree. And I think we've been hearing this for a while.
Imposing fines on, somebody who is incapable of cleaning this mess himself, would be an injustice.
So I'd like to suggest that Jessica doing a visit out at 6 or 7. Or maybe James.
No, I'm not. But we also have the power to
Yeah.
ask the building inspector or the police department to go on our behalf.
Okay, so if we could get
You
someone
don't have
on
to-
our
I
behalf
don't-
to
we're not
speak to
trying to-
them, and then I volunteer to go help clean this stuff up. I have no
Yeah,
problem.
but you shouldn't be doing that as a
Why?
commissioner, because I think it's not appropriate for us to start with some, we do some work, and with others. If you want to, I just don't think it's appropriate for board members,
I don't
municipal.
think anyone's
employees to do
needed
that.
us in this capacity before though, Linda,
But it's, so when do you, so what makes you do it for this person and not another? It's like you can't have people come to us and they don't know how to fill out a notice of intent, and then we do all the work for them. It's just not appropriate. It never has been. It's nice, but it's, we can't be doing things like that for some. I think it's even in my conflict thing that
Well, I don't know.
it's in there, we shouldn't be doing
I
it.
think we're pretty comfortable telling people when they need to do things on their own, but this seems like extenuating circumstances to me. And if
Exactly.
the person's incapable of rounding up, hypothesizing here, rounding up a bunch of volunteers, I'll gladly go over there.
Why can't we do what, Michael Crowley had started, and he was.
Yeah, Mike did it.
Well, he was thinking of asking a Boy Scout troop, or maybe the football players from North
Mhm.
Middlesex High School, or the
Mhm.
basketball players.
It's all good. My only frustration is that I've been listening to this for a long time. I'm just the kind of person, I like to be, have things move along and get them done and not have to talk about it every meeting.
Hold on.
The reason
Sorry.
we did efforts over the summer, because all the vegetation grew in, and he has such steep slopes
Right.
that it would have been a complete safety hazard to go out. So that's why we suspended it to open this back up until after the herbaceous stuff has died down. So,
Kevin, you said something.
Right.
And I didn't.
No.
Now you need crampons if you go on those slopes.
but it's safer that, especially if we were trying to propose volunteers.
Feels an injustice to, an elderly fellow.
Yeah,
As do I, Kevin. I
Right.
agree with you. It's an injustice.
If it comes down to, if it comes down to it, I think it would be a very nice gesture to, as the commission members, the Boy Scouts, or maybe rally a group together and reach out to Mr. Shaw to get a dumpster there and take, I'm sure the business people in town would want to pay for the can, Mr. Shaw would.
there's also organizations that I'm sure that
Is something
can
out there to
assist.
help to be able to assist the poor fella.
Yeah.
I don't know him, I wouldn't know him if he's standing there, I wouldn't know if he punched me in the face, but, the circumstances as they are. I feel it's not right to try to, if you wanna find him or do something like that.
So what would next steps be? Next steps would be somebody has to go knock on the door?
I think some compassion has to be put into place in this particular matter.
I agree 100%.
But, and we have shown that. I'm just saying this to push us. I don't want to find this guy, but I think, if we're not going to be effective, and it just frustrates me to have to talk about something over and over again. It just annoys me. It's just my personality. But so we talked about doing humane things, and I agree that's the way to do it. But are we going to talk about this in January, that we're going to do humane things with him, and in February, and in March? I mean, it's like,
Can we
let's
just
just
decide
do
on the
it,
next? Linda, can we just decide as a group, please, for next steps? And it seems to me like the next step is somebody's got to contact the police or or somebody to go over there and knock on the door and say, this is
Right,
what's gonna
somebody
happen.
needs to say they're gonna do it. That's
How,
right.
who, how, what?
I would also provide resources or ask the property owner if it's okay on his behalf that we contact some resources that can assist them
Right.
to,
We have to.
I
You
think,
can't-
I
you
think.
can't go onto
Michael
somebody's
talked to
property.
him about that.
he did, or, yeah,
Yeah. he
I
did.
do recall that, and I do recall
And I
him being
think-
open to
He
it.
was open to
Right, he
it.
was
yeah.
open to it, and I think what happened is Michael left
Right,
the
And the
position.
vegetation grew in, and
Right,
it's
Right.
just compounded, and now we only have one meeting in November, one meeting
In
in
December.
December, so it gets tight. So it's,
And you got snow. you
so
got
what's the
weather
next step,
You know, weather
please?
conditions
Can we
falling.
solve this problem? What's the next step, please? Mr. Chair.
I-
The
that's
police, who
not
do
for
we?
me to decide, it's for us as a
Well,
group,
can
as a
you float the
commission to
next,
decide.
I'll float the next step then.
I
please.
just did, contact or identify or an organization, organizations, private or
I'll do
public,
that.
that can assist him in removing the,
I'll do that, but we have to get somebody to
Debris
go
from-
knock on the door.
I would put that, I would request that, the building inspector do that.
Okay,
I'm not gonna ask her to go.
okay.
No,
So we're gonna ask the building inspector to go over there. You said some night around 6 o'clock is probably the best time.
I don't know if his hours allow for that. That's the only
Correct.
thing. So we might need to recruit
Can you
townies.
clarify why the building inspector? I just don't.
I think he just works
He's-
normal business hours.
He's also, has
He's the enforcement officer, and ultimately, when there's a conservation issue or any other issue, building or zoning or otherwise,
he has the power to act
he
on our
has the
behalf.
power to act on behalf of our commission to go in and.
I've never known that.
Okay, so
Sorry.
I'm volunteering. I will talk to the building commissioner and I will try to find a group and then I'll report back.
So.
Is
we
that
need-
fair?
And I feel that we need to.
So
make-
I would get details nailed down,
Okay,
put it in a letter.
Yep.
I can sign the letter.
Yep.
Have somebody deliver that letter,
Yep.
basically saying, hey, on your behalf, we've
Yep.
contacted Boy Scout Troop 123,
yep,
who will come over on Saturday,
right,
January 15th
yep,
at approximately 2 PM
yep.
to remove the trash. FYI,
And I wouldn't
I
even
think,
necessarily go high school or Boy Scout. I would find some organization that will take care of all of the trash, or the removing of it, hauling of it, everything.
and if there's anything on the property that you don't want removed, please take it off the hill slopes, because they're gonna work to the top of the hill slopes, or, something
I don't
like
think
that.
that.
I
think he might not be
has
able
the
to.
capacity
Right.
to. So
exactly.
I
So,
guess giving him
I
ample
don't even
notice.
wanna kick the can to the next meeting. Joan, if you do all that and send Jessica an email saying you've done that action item,
I'll do
Jessica
something.
will
I'll check
send
it
it
out.
and
Okay, all right. Kevin, you can help me. I mean, think about it, please, but yeah, obviously this time of year, I'm serious, somebody's gonna need crampons, so we have to have some professionals.
But it's better now than
Right.
in the summer.
Right.
At Golden,
Right.
it's like 6 feet.
Right, but you can't send sneakered
Okay.
high school football
you
players
got
in
5
there.
minutes before the
Right.
next
Yeah.
hearing.
Okay, all right. I promise I'll report, I'll get this for the
Great.
next
Great.
meeting. Okay,
Yeah, and
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thanks, Joan.
Sure.
thank you, Joan. You
You're
can
welcome.
call me.
Thanks, Joan. Sorry to be a pain in the ass.
That's all right. I'm just into finding solutions, so we gotta make.
Exactly, me too.
Let's move.
too.
Okay.
Be effective, that's the thing.
All right, so just two more things, agent report, still efforts to contact applicants for compliance with their orders of conditions and their overdue certificate of compliances. 128 Turner Road, making some leeway on that, I think this week, 6 Pine Street. 71 Ash Street, the whole Alyssa Drive subdivision is a nightmare. 187 Pierce Road, 11 Squanicook Terrace, 7 to 9 Riverbank Terrace, and 114 Mason Road.
Can I add something, interject quickly?
Of course.
This is only a partial list of
Yes,
the outstanding COCs that Jessica has been.
Yeah,
I've started
tracking.
to actually put addresses down for you guys.
So
but-
it's a ongoing effort, and it takes a lot of investigative skills to be able to find people that did the work or pulled the permits and didn't complete them, so. And I do want to backtrack quickly. Our staff only has limited hours, so some of these things seem like they get drawn out, but our budget only allows for X amount of hours for Jessica, X amount of hours for Matt. They do a phenomenal job with what they do.
Yep.
So,
And, you know, because it's minimal, you know, it is we could empower each of us to do take on one particular thing. You know, we could say, like we said, Joan can do that, or, you know, you could give me something and then we do it, you know, I deal with it. And keep the commission informed. It doesn't have to all fall on them. I mean, it is our job as conservation commissioners to do this, right?
and it's also, I don't think it needs to go from meeting to meeting to wait for, you know, approvals for certain things, so.
Right.
All right, Jessica, you had one last item, which
Yeah.
we already touched on, but
Yeah, so we just in the month span of this report, we visited the rail trail property behind or down slope of 158 Main Street on December 9th. So, yeah, obviously, we were talking about this.
and we looked at, the hay bales were rearranged. We determined that there needs to be more of them, and also have them doubled up.
Yes,
The sediment has come down to the bottom of the hill already. It's there. Whatever sediment does move is because of the flow of the water. So Jessica reached out to Dr. McGee to ask him to put additional hay bales out to slow the water even more in that area.
Yeah, that was the last meeting.
Well, he needs that more.
Yeah, that's what we determined at last meeting.
there's only right now, then since it's the winter and it can't revegetate right now, there's only so much I feel like we can do. Aside from getting like a really hardscaped engineered.
Well,
erosion control in there,
and that is
But
where, yeah, he is attempting to figure out how this water's flowing, why it's flowing like this. It's, he is working with us though, and he is being responsive with us reaching out to him.
I do think he needs to, at this point, have someone who knows what they're doing because the siltation just keeps coming more and more. It's pretty thick. It goes further down. And I do think at this point, you know, we need to ask him to get somebody, it could be someone local, who can put together a plan to address what he's going to do, whether it's in the spring or whatever. Give him time to put together a plan for us, because I have not seen, when I walk there, and I'm walking on the rail trail just for a walk, and I happen to go by it and see that nothing is really improved. It's gotten worse. So I do recommend that we do that, and we ask him to get somebody. It could be someone like that guy from Lunenburg, who did that thing on Sauna Road. You know, someone local, and put together a plan how they're going to rectify that situation, because
He was a conservation agent for Lunenburg, I think.
former conservation
Former.
administrator or board member, something.
Consultant.
But he would
Right now-
know
right now-
what we're asking for.
And right now, this is going to be on our January agenda, the first meeting of it, so. All right.
So what- Okay,
It's 8:01.
so we can talk later about it.
So it's 8:01, 2.2, notice of intent. Jessica, you did get the DEP number.
We got the DEP number, but not the natural heritage comments. So we can start to talk, or, I mean, you can open it and discuss a little bit, or open it and continue, but DEP's comments did indicate that they recommend we refrain from closing until we receive endangered species comment. But I would at least open the hearing, and fill in the gaps.
So they want you to, they want to extend the hearing because of
Well,
what?
let's open it and then I'll explain it.
Gentlemen?
Thank you.
I'm going to read the legal notice now to open this hearing. Town of Townsend Conservation Commission legal notice pursuant to the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Townsend Wetlands Bylaw. The Townsend Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, December 14, 2022 at approximately 8 p.m. The hearing will be held virtually via Zoom meeting and in person at Town Hall and on a notice of intent NOI filed with the Conservation Commission by Aaron and Wendy Williams. The property is located at 5 Madison Avenue, Assessors Map 31, Parcel 28, Lot 10. The proposed project is for the construction of an addition to an existing single-family home, an enlarged driveway, and associated fill and grading. Part of the construction will take place within a riverfront area, and portions of the fill and grading are within 100 feet of a bordering vegetated wetland. Parties wishing to speak in support of or in opposition to this application may do so at the hearing or in writing prior to the hearing. Copies of this application are available for review at Town Hall during business hours, and it's signed Jessica Consalvo, Agent, Townsend Conservation Commission.
Matt already did check.
He did.
Oh,
sorry.
right, and Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Check the abutters list and it's complete. Thank you very much.
All about efficiency.
Yeah, really, got it. That's great.
Dan with Ross Associates with us. I will say that during our site walk, Ann tried to come. She got lost, but it's okay. And Kevin forgot what time it was, but we do need people coming to these site walks. It makes things difficult to discuss. So, Dan, you have the floor.
Great, thank you. My name is Dan Wolf. I'm with David Ross Associates, and I'm representing Aaron and Wendy Williams tonight, the owners of the property. As the legal notice stated, the proposal here tonight is to put an addition on the existing house at number 5 Madison Ave. And to facilitate this, there'll be some fill brought in to level off the area around the foundation. And a driveway will be put in to connect to the garage bays on the lower level. And on the upper level, there will be a proposed 1-bedroom apartment. We have flagged the wetlands as well as the top of bank of Trout Brook. And as shown on the plan, the fill only is in the very outer reaches of the 100-foot buffer zone. And Jessica, you had mentioned you were going to put this up on the screen. Is that, I see Kevin looking at something. Is everyone able to see the plan?
Harley, can Jessica have screen sharing permission, please?
Okay, give me a moment here. Dan is the one going to screen share, correct?
Oh, no, I am.
Oh, you
Jessica.
are. Okay, my apologies. Hold on one second. Jessica, right?
Yeah.
That's you. Okay, great. Okay. Okay, it is done.
Thank you. Yeah.
Great. So I apologize. There's a lot of lines on the plan, but as you can see on the right side of the house and the addition, there's just a small corner of that fill that is within the 100-foot buffer zone. And Jessica's running her cursor along the 100-foot line right now. So that is all within the buffer zone. And then we are also showing a 200-foot riverfront zone extending from Trout Brook. And the cursor is there now and goes through a portion of the addition itself. So fairly minimal work in those very outer reaches of the resource areas and buffer zones. And we have surrounded all the proposed activity with erosion control. And what was very instrumental, and it was great for those who were able to make it to the site walk, it really has minimal effects, shall we say, on the clearing. There's minimal clearing, a few trees. They've been flagged. Most of the flagged trees are fairly small, maybe 3 inches in diameter. I believe there were a few larger trees, maybe 12 inches in diameter. But it's all been flagged out for the site walk, as well as the erosion control has already been put in. I think it was a fairly easy site walk for those that were there in terms of understanding the scope of the project. And I feel that there'd be minimal disturbance and zero effects on the resource areas themselves. So if I can answer any questions, I'd be happy to.
That river that goes through the addition, can you address that?
Riverfront,
The river, oh, so
the very outer boundary of the riverfront area.
Looks pretty cut and dry.
It's got dry to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jessica, do you have any concerns?
Negative,
Okay, thank
the
you.
best angle
Do you
here.
have a,
Someone in the audience?
do you mind,
I will sign here.
yeah, but just, okay,
Please identify yourself.
Nancy, a butter.
Thank you.
What will be, I'm concerned about the driveway, the proposed new driveway. Runoff. Runoff. Into the wetland. What's going, I can see.
Into the buffer, ma'am, to the buffer zone.
Yeah. What will be done for runoff from the driveway? And also, I see the drip line you have in the back there, across the back, great. But what about the front? The proposed new driveway? Is that's gonna be paved?
That will be paved, and it does not flow toward the wetland area at all. That would flow toward the street and the street drainage that already exists. The reason we didn't put any sort of recharge trench in the front is because by virtue of the pavement there, we don't have the ability to put a recharge trench there. And
You wouldn't need it anyway, Dan. Your driveway is down slope,
yeah.
slope positive to the road.
that's
to the
right.
gutter Side of the road,
Yeah.
so. I can
Yeah.
see if that's helpful to you, ma'am.
Can we answer anything else for you?
No.
Please unmute.
Thank you.
Anyone else in our group have questions, concerns?
Oh, you can't see that. Oh, sorry.
What?
It's my screens. Sorry, I'm now looking at pictures, but you can't see them.
You
What
took
are you
pictures
looking
of the
for,
site.
Jessica, the grading lines on the driveway?
No, I'm looking,
Here's some pictures.
this is impossible to do. Oh my gosh,
She's got some photos.
I am incompetent right now. Hold on. Look.
Jessica, I'm not sure we need them at this point.
Well, just to show, there we go, there it is. All right. Oh my goodness, okay. So you can see the silt fence, and I believe it was backed by straw wattles.
Yep.
So the wetland and the creek is back to the sort of left of the photo. So erosion barrier is already up, it's a very gradual slope. As Dan mentioned, trees will be cut, but they're mostly like, 3 or 4 inch caliper. I think two-ish big ones
Yeah.
right there off to the right, but this is about where you'll see the proposed work happening. For those who are not there.
Did you have any other
By the
pictures?
looks of that maple tree right there, that's the house branching down anyways.
Right?
Those are shag barks.
Oh, that's right back hickory.
Yeah.
There's
They're
that
nice
too.
big ones.
Good, nice job.
Yeah, pretty flat gradient. And then just some more bigger view from the road. And then that's all I have, sorry,
No, that's good.
but, yeah,
Thank you, Jessica. I'm glad you were able to show those because it really does have minimal exposure here.
Yep.
So, based on the plan, yeah, the extent of the riverfront area goes pretty much to the edge of the existing house right there. So they're in it maybe 30 or 40 feet, but on the outer extent. And then they'll be within the 100-foot buffer zone just for some minimal grading, 100-foot wetland buffer zone for only about 20 feet on the outermost extent of that as well.
Same with the National Heritage Area.
So we have conditions here, Jessica?
No, because we have been advised to not close the hearing yet. So DEP did comment. Let me find that. Yeah, they recommend that any management plan or conditions required by NHESP be incorporated into the order of conditions. They recommend that the commission refrain from closing the hearing until NHESP completes its review and updated materials are received by the commission and Mass DEP.
So we should make a motion to continue?
Doesn't make much sense. I don't see no taking there or anything.
But they said not to close it. They recommend not to close it until we get that information.
Yeah, but they've got to weigh in on the species issue, so.
Yeah, so let me share the plan again for 1 second. So right here, can you see that? Yeah, barely. If you can follow my cursor, right here. And then down at the bottom of the screen is the extent of NHESP habitat. So pretty much just what's within the wetland buffer zone
Right?
again, but there is some tree clearing proposed in there, and then obviously some ground alteration. So
That's a tree clearing. Where's that line again?
the proposed erosion control barrier is a pretty good representation
extent
of
of the
where
work is
barrier
within the
will
silt fence.
extend to.
They're gonna clear
So are the tree clearings on the inside of the, where the silt fence is, or on the outside?
all on the inside, nothing was tagged on the outside.
Yeah,
And
So
we
yeah,
also-
everything to the left of the erosion control barrier line.
okay, good.
And Mr. Chairman, if I could also address the fact that we had submitted this application to Natural Heritage on November 16th. But I went online today to see if I could track anything down, and I was a little distressed and disappointed to find that they recorded that they received it on November 29th, almost 2 weeks after we sent it. Whether that's correct or not, I don't know, but their website also says that they try to turn out responses within 30 days. And I believe our 30-day mark is coming up on, I don't even know what today is, Thursday or Friday is our 30-day mark. So it's a little disheartening to get this far only to be told not to close the hearing.
So when do you want to break ground and start doing the work?
If it was up to my client, would be breaking ground in about 3 minutes.
In about what?
3 minutes. No,
So,
he's very anxious to get started, and we appreciate anything you can do for us.
So what we could do, I think, and Jessica can explain this better, is that we can have the orders of condition ready. When is our next meeting in January?
11.
The 11th. So, those are ready and we can sign them and then they just issue them. If we don't, we'll hear from Natural Heritage, right?
That's
That's
grading
the
line.
idea, yes.
That grading line off the edge of the proposed addition, that's what's holding up this, that's that just a little stretch of land right there.
Yeah.
Why couldn't Joe just put a simple little retaining wall there? It's outside the driveway. It's not gonna affect anything. Why couldn't he just put a little retaining wall in, there'd be a moot point, could approve it tonight, and be done with it? Simple as that. What are you thinking? Minimum grading? Just a thought.
You're building a wall next to a resource, like a resource?
Are you with me, Dan?
Well,
So wouldn't they have to change the plans,
Right.
Kevin,
Yeah,
to show that's what they're doing?
Yeah,
yeah.
They've also already had several other boards review this, so.
yeah.
Be a little.
Sorry, Dan.
Have to go back.
I
Good
appreciate
idea, but I think
it.
it would be hard to implement. It would probably take more time to implement it.
We'd also want trees to be removed that close to the building. It would be more difficult to take those trees down once the building got started.
Three.
You know, it's tough because we're in New England, and I know Kevin's probably seen it, the frost is already in the ground,
Yeah.
starting to get into the ground, and it's grown.
Now
Daily.
you're putting the thing off, now you're putting the poor man's project off for, what, 3 more weeks?
Well, that's natural, that's on natural heritage, right?
Yeah.
Jessica? All right, so I make a motion, please, that we can, at Natural Heritage's request, we continue this.
I'll
until
second
the
it.
next Meeting, I have to say the numbers.
How
Yeah, you do.
about,
But we don't know the DEP number, do we? 308
Oh, no, we do.
Okay,
how about approve it subject to the, because the plan is pretty much what it is, can you approve it subject to the receipt of natural heritage?
We don't have an order of conditions, do we? Put together?
I'm just trying to
No, we
fast track
don't.
it for the poor fella, you know?
No, we don't. We don't have the order of conditions, Kevin. Yeah.
I would not recommend approving tonight, unfortunately.
no.
I suppose the best you could do is what was already mentioned, and we appreciate that, is if the order of conditions were ready at the very next meeting, simply to sign.
Yeah, and I think we can do that. Jessica or Matt can put them together, and then as soon as we hear from Natural Heritage, we can sign it, and then at the next meeting, we can approve it, and it'll all be right there for you.
Yeah, as long as there's no significant comments or suggestions or anything.
Exactly. Yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed. There's nothing. But we can put them into the orders of condition if there are, right?
I make a motion to continue this hearing to our next meeting, 5 Madison Avenue, DEP 308-0XXX and TWB 2022-140.
We have it, hold on.
Thank you,
Oh, you
Dan.
do have it.
So 696.
DEP 0696.
I'll second that.
Joan Savoy, yes.
Pat Jamal, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Lola Play, yes.
Linda, Mack, yes.
Dan,
Thank you, sorry.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your effort.
Okay.
All right. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
No, we're just on time for our RDA.
Well, let's wait for the next hearing. I forgot to mention something.
Okay. 8:20.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on. To work session. Request for determination of applicability, Townsend Wetlands bylaw number 2022-141. The proposed projects will take place on town land west of Mason Road and Horseshoe Drive for the removal of several trees in order to maintain species habitat.
Is anyone here for
Yeah, Dave,
represent them.
No, Dave's just, Dave will voice, but, Veronica is here. Jean's on.
Is Jean also Emily?
I'm here.
Yep, she's here. She's with Jean.
Okay, good.
I'm
So,
here.
Ronnie, are you there to represent them?
Well, it's the town that's.
Yeah.
And, the board of selectmen, designated Emily Fine as our representative.
Okay.
Jessica, do you mind giving just a brief overview of this?
Let me pull the map real quick before we get started. Okay. Okay. Here we are. All right, so. Oh, Emily just got one. Perfect timing. Okay, so this is Squanicook Meadows behind the two Tafeless soccer fields here. So the proposed, no, let me start over here. So Squanicook River or Mason Brook converges with something else and becomes the Squanicook River down here. Squanicook River obviously is known for a lot of priority species habitat. There's a lot of bordering vegetated wetlands as well coming off the river down there. It's a very, very, very steep slope. You can see the wooded riparian corridor here. It's a very, very steep slope down. And then there's sort of like a hill crest up here. And then you can start to see the sandy slopes, which slope down into the fields instead. So those sandy slopes are where species go to nest during the year.
Yeah.
And so there is tree clearing proposed, spotty, I guess, tree clearing, sapling clearing proposed on those inner hill slopes to help maintain and provide extra and ample habitat for nesting species through there. So in terms of Conservation Commission, there's riverfront area buffer as well as 100-foot wetland buffer extending onto the site into the field. So some of that sapling removal is proposed within those buffers. But again, they're on the slopes that are grading down toward the field and not toward the river at all. So
and the town's doing this work?
volunteers
Uh-huh.
okay, on behalf of the town, yes. So we are awaiting, I know you guys like your maps, we are awaiting an accurate buffer map. But because we have some river, which gets a 200-foot, and then we have some bordering wetlands, which only get 100 feet of buffer. So until we get that map, it's uncertain exactly which areas are within Conscom jurisdiction and which aren't. So I'd definitely take that into consideration under approval.
Yeah, that was hard to figure out what was going on without a more complete map.
We do have a map, but I will refrain from putting it up because it is inaccurate.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So. Otherwise, yeah, Emily or Jean or Ronnie, if you guys want to explain a little bit more of the scope of work, you are of course welcome to.
Emily on?
Yeah, I admitted her a minute ago, yeah.
Yeah, this is Emily. my computer decided to do updates when I was trying to sign on, so I didn't hear what you said earlier. But the basic effort here is to sort of restore the critical nesting area to what it was about 10 years ago, so that there's more sun on the slopes, less shading by the trees. So we've marked all the trees, which are all really pretty young, because we plan on cutting them down with hand tools, pretty much hand saws.
What time of year do you want to do this, Emily?
We want to do it way before the wildlife is active. So we
That's
wanted
great.
to do it in April.
Okay.
We'd have a whole bunch of volunteers on one day, and then as far as getting rid of the dead wood, we thought, at first we thought, well, we could get some dumpsters and haul it out, and then there's been some other ideas of getting a chipper and just chopping up the wood and possibly depositing it closer to the road where the first soccer field is. I think there's a right of way, and that might be a good spot to leave some of the wood chips. Definitely, we don't want to leave piles of trees that have been down, because they give people the idea that that's a good place to dump things for yards, and we don't want to do that.
So National Heritage did respond to this, and the must be conditioned in order to qualify as an exempt pursuant to 321 CMR 10.1415. Provided the project implements the following conditions, the division hereby approves the proposed habitat management plan. 1, time of year restriction: no work may occur during the nesting season, which is generally from the 3rd week of May through July 1, but will be confirmed in the field by division staff for this specific site. Outside this time, hand removal of invasive plant species may occur on an as-needed basis. Work by hand: all work must be conducted using hand tools and hand pulling. All work must be located within the area approved in the field by division staff. Symbolic mapping as recommended in the field by division staff. Symbolic marking of the limits of work may be required. Authorization: this determination is valid for work during 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026. Thereafter, the applicant must refile with the division pursuant to the MESA filing and the rare species provisions of the WPA, if the filing pursuant to the WPA is required by the Conservation Commission. 5, Wetland Protection Act filings notice. Filing for any renewal, extension, or amendment of the WPA orders of conditions. The applicant shall contact the division for written response regarding impacts to resource area habitat of state listed wildlife. Renewal, extension, or amendment of order of conditions does not renew, extend, or amend the MESA authorization.
Good. So our orders of condition only last 3 years, is that correct?
Well, this is an RDA.
It'd be a determination.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Yes, 3 years.
But
Shelf it for
years,
that
yeah.
one.
And with this, with the RDA, we can put in conditions, correct?
Yes.
So, and they last 3 years. So would they have to refile with us to go further for those years that to 2024 or 25 and 26? No,
Yes.
26. Yeah, okay.
I don't think there's a way to extend a determination of
Yeah,
applicability.
I don't think so either. Okay, well, it's not that hard to do, I guess.
What?
Question.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, just one, because
Here,
this CC'd me and I never received it.
the town will be putting a conservation restriction on this property. And in there will be a maintenance plan, and the maintenance plan will address the frequency of going back to the Conservation Commission and having it. So this will be addressed in there, so that it's known that you come back every so often.
Okay.
So this RDA is specific to the scope of work. the
Right.
sapling removal
Yeah, yeah.
by hand.
By hand.
Yes,
Yes.
so here I can,
Now you are awaiting a map
correct.
still.
Yeah.
So do we want to continue this, or how do we do this if we're awaiting a map?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So do you want a motion to continue it?
Yeah. Oh, Dave has something to say.
Well, there's also work within that, the well field, the 400 feet, which, requires water department approval.
Why would it
Really?
require water department approval?
Because it's a deeded lot to
It's
the water.
not deeded to the water.
I gave it.
Okay, I'm not gonna, well, just the furthest to Adam, if this is gonna be how it goes.
Pardon
But
me?
there's existing wells there within the
There are
400 feet of the
test wells.
existing wells. The water department has the right to, for future well development.
Yeah, that is correct. And so the CR will state that an allowed use of the property
That's,
is for the development of a well for the town.
But we're not talking about the CR.
I know, but the property is owned by the town. It's not owned by the water.
all water department.
No, it's not owned by the water department. But
It's not.
they have the right to develop wells there if
Yes,
needed.
that is correct.
Yeah.
It's,
And so once there is a town well in place there, then in fact, there, and it will be stated in the CR when it's written, then in fact, there will be a linkage.
We are not
There.
trying to stop the project. We just want to make sure that the land is protected.
Oh, absolutely,
That-
but the
that's-
land is not owned by the water department is what I'm
Every
saying.
piece,
The land is
Dave,
owned
your
by the
concerns-
town of Townsend.
your concerns were no
Valid.
gas, no oils, none of that,
Yes.
that's,
which is already a requirement.
Yeah.
that's the point I'm making.
Yeah,
And that's what I
perfectly
wanna say.
fine.
But Veronica is correct. The town owned land, the water department is town owned land.
Everything the water department owns is owned by the town.
Correct.
But
So,
the deed
so the-
states Townsend Water Department.
The
No.
deed says,
No, this deed states Town of Townsend.
Yeah, town of
But other
Townsend,
properties that are
and that deed.
water department properties say
is
Townsend.
this state
Water
towns and
Department.
water?
no, it states,
Says town of Townsend.
it states that portion of parcel B-3A shown on the plan as existing wells, which is, this is on the registry of deeds.
Correct.
Plan is existing wells and within 400-foot radius of the existing wells and the access strip from Mason Road, which is to the north of where the wells are, may be used by the Townsend Water Department as the site of a future well and access and egress therefrom. The remaining portions of B-3 and parcels B-2 and B-1 shall be known as Holly's Playground. It just states that from where the current monitor wells are, or the existing wells. And within 400 feet, they can build something. But
Yeah,
it's still
correct.
deeded to the town of Townsend,
Right,
municipal corporation located in Middlesex County.
and the point I'm making is, what we want to restrict. Oil and gasoline being brought in.
Yes,
So
yeah.
no gas cans being brought on the property to cut brush.
Yes,
You know, that's.
I think that we agree on that.
Yes.
Right, and that's, I just want to make,
that's
and
a,
if someone sees the pipes sticking out of the ground,
Yeah,
please don't.
people are aware,
Right.
people that are.
Well,
Yeah, you got.
They are and they aren't. You never
I know.
know.
I just
there's some kids that could do some damage. So we-
Well, point well taken, David.
Yeah, definitely.
Line that you can send me where they are.
Well, I'm gonna have, I have to go and look for them, because I've never.
They're there, I
Right.
mean, we've come upon them
Right.
walking out there.
So when someone's
Martha.
talking about see a pipes,
There's nothing to do with it.
don't do.
Why don't we put them on the plan we're gonna get? Can we put them on the plan that's coming?
David, there's nowhere's within the area of work that.
Oh,
that-
and
that
they
proposed.
Well,
Huh?
It is public. It's unregistered deeds.
And yes, it'll
Just
go.
note that they're on there.
No. You're, the monitoring wells.
Okay, so part of the order conditions can be monitor wells will be
Workers, they are.
marked.
Yeah.
Will be
I
shown.
don't know.
On the slope.
Yep.
That's what I'm wondering.
No,
Okay, so I'm gonna put it screen. Sorry, we're getting off.
Any trick.
So,
These are the hill slopes that are gonna be selectively cleared. So there is minimal work happening in the barrens or whatever, the flat area. It's more focused on the hill slopes. And again, it's volunteers coming in with hand saws. No one's gonna come in with
No, I'm totally
excavator.
Right, I heard the
Well-
plan. We're totally supportive of it. We just want to make sure that if the volunteers see the pipe, don't think it's something that's not supposed to be there.
right, good point.
These are very knowledgeable volunteers.
But it's good that you bring it up.
They're down at the bottom.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, the work being done is within the slope.
But people do. People
Okay,
sometimes. do-
I want to keep going. I haven't been home to eat dinner yet,
Right.
so
Oh, he's getting hangry.
I
So I make a motion. Can I make a
Yeah,
motion?
yeah, do it.
That the RDA TWBTO 22-141 is approved.
no,
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 sorry,
continued.
wrong verbiage. Is
Continued.
Continued, thank you.
because we're waiting for,
We're waiting for the map.
Maps, continued until we receive the maps.
can I add that Dave's comments
Yeah.
about the hand,
Gas and oil and all that. Yes,
gas, no oil are reflected in our meeting minutes, please.
yeah.
That's fair.
I'll second that.
Ready to vote, James?
We have
I
second,
need a second.
second, yeah, and second, yes, roll call vote, please.
Joan Savoy, yes.
Pat Jamal, yes.
James Gates, yes.
And Latoya, yes.
Thank you, David.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Veronica, James, Dave.
I'm with you.
Yeah, we like that. Thanks a lot for protecting our
Thank you,
water.
Dave. Have a good evening.
So, I'm sorry, we're continuing it till the next time, January?
Yes,
Until we get the maps.
January 11th.
Okay, January 11th. All right.
sorry, Gene, we weren't clear.
Yeah, Board of Selectmen and Emily with the schedule, once it's available.
And we should have the map.
Oh, good.
I will. It's just.
I know.
Thank you, Veronica, for coming. If you don't mind just
Thank you.
signing in to the
Yeah,
other ones,
sign
because
for
you were,
the other two.
Thank you, Veronica.
Thank you.
Is this just the one that I'm signing?
Yeah,
Just one?
yeah.
yeah, because it had which one you were here for, which you weren't here for in hearings, but it's wrong, like old times. All right, 3.2, Request for certificate of compliance for 10 and 12 Spalding Street, DEP number 308-0690. Is that septic?
Septic repair and they want it.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Very interesting.
Really riveting, yeah.
Stay for a while.
So far.
Yeah, sorry, really.
Don't join us more often.
I will.
Good for a good show.
Great. Jessica?
All right, so 10 to 12 Spalding was an NOI issued a few months, or an order of condition issued a few months ago for a septic replacement behind an apartment building, and it was within a riverfront area and within a wetland
Monica.
buffer.
Good night. Thank you.
Night, ma'am.
So one of the special conditions that the commission set forth was for actual additional, like an expansion of the limits of disturbance, because it was all something invasive, but I can't remember anymore.
Bittersweet.
Asiatic Bay Bittersweet.
Bittersweet, maybe, yeah.
That's bittersweet.
Anyway, so the commission voted to extend the clearing by like 20 or 25 feet to mow that, to try to help. So I went out for an inspection after the request for CSD was filed. Grass was grown back in over the septic field. It did not smell anymore. There was no material leaching out of the ground. And they had expanded the limits of clearing a little bit to remove the invasives. So, in my opinion, all looked compliant with the order, and then I would recommend issuance of a complete certification.
Okay, do we have questions?
No,
Nope.
Make a motion that we issue a certificate of compliance for 1012 Spalding Street, DEP 308-0690.
We have a second?
Second,
Sorry.
Roll call vote, please.
Savoy, yes.
Pepperell, yes.
James Gates, yes.
And McCoy, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Linda Beck, yes.
All right, moving on. Request for partial certificate of compliance for Alyssa Drive, DEP number 308-0536.
So for Alyssa Drive is one of 15 houses in the Alyssa Drive subdivision that I am ready to lose it. I'm trying to get them up to speed and compliance. Anyway, this house has a pending closing over this. So we found that we can issue a partial certificate of, so the original certificate of compliance, or original order of conditions, excuse me, was for the entire Alyssa Drive, like circle loop for the stormwater basins associated with the entire subdivision and for all the utilities to serve the houses. And we cannot get the builder to file for a complete COC, so they just want a partial COC to release this one particular lot at this time, so they can go and close the property.
The builder does?
No,
The owner, yeah, the homeowner, right, so we don't have any leverage.
This was done
Right.
like
Yeah.
10 years
Yeah.
ago at
Yeah.
least. That's what I've been working on this for months. But anyway, so this is what a partial COC is used for in this case. So I would recommend approval for partial COC.
I would just like to hypothesize. So what if everybody, what if if everybody comes in asking for a partial? I don't want to try to hang this person up, but you know what I'm saying? It would be a way for the COC to never be filed effectively, right?
Is that builder still alive?
One of them is,
One of them is?
the other
So
apparently is not.
what do we do then to encourage someone to
Did you
apply
ever
for a
ask him
COC?
about the name?
Yeah, you sent me his contact information.
Oh, I did.
We can go into this discussion right now if you guys
no.
want.
No, looks
Oh,
like.
God.
Good.
James has to
Eventually,
meet.
if you do enough of these partials for
Listen.
all of Alyssa Drive,
Right,
is it completed at
Was
the
the
end?
contact information good?
That's
Jessica?
where, right,
Was
that's.
the contact information good?
Once,
Oh.
and the other 5 times, nothing.
Then he's locked it.
I
So
scared
Je-
him off.
Jessica, are you saying that the developer is not responding, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so I think he's probably not going to respond to in the future, so we should do it for the homeowners because they shouldn't suffer under
Nope.
this developer's hand of not doing the right thing.
Right,
So I would make a motion that we do a partial certificate of compliance for 4 Alyssa Drive, DEP number 308-0536.
Roll call vote, please.
Savoy, yes.
Petrol, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Delacroix, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Linda Mack, yes.
Sorry, real quick. Was there a second on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not gonna tell you who it was though, Matt.
It was Ann.
It was Ann. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
wait for the YouTube, Matt.
I have one question though.
Yes,
Are
Pat.
all the houses already built?
Oh, yeah, they've been built for like 10 years.
Okay, 'cause
Yeah.
I don't know the streets.
So
Yeah.
are they paying their portion of this? Okay.
Yeah, so this subdivision, you know, because without going into all of it, there's a bunch of open orders and we could get probably $4,500 in fees, which is
Yeah.
obviously not gonna happen.
Not bad.
We have collected $87 to date. Thank you.
So going forward in the future, then, do we as a commission need to amend our fees or our bylaw or something to state that if COCs are not filed for in an appropriate manner, then there's some kind of an enforcement thing and.
Sure, it is.
Ooh, we did this. We did this a year ago and it got a little heated.
Then
It got very heated.
He knows how much it's gonna cost him.
Right.
He's dodging it.
Okay, and
I don't know, but I'm waiting to talk to more higher up people
people,
than I
okay,
am.
gotcha,
to
all right.
Figure out, get some
Gotcha.
advice.
Would he have to pay for it before the houses are built?
No, they're already built.
I mean, I know,
no.
but I'm saying in the future. I mean,
they're built.
I mean, in the future, if he ever files with us, I would definitely recommend to not
Right.
approve anything until he's caught up.
And require funding.
Yeah.
Right,
That's an example.
Yeah.
So,
all right,
So
so you're on it.
the reason that, so this particular house unfortunately is linked. The order of conditions was issued for, like I said, the entire road, the stormwater and the utilities for the parent parcel before it was subdivided into these 15 residential lots. So unfortunately, even though this house, I don't think has any wetlands on it or anything.
Yeah, they're
the
stuck.
the
It's on the
order
deed.
In the
you
order,
have to do a
right,
title search
Yeah.
because it was parent
Right.
parcel on it. So
Yeah. Well,
that's the only way to clear it off their title is to do that.
so you're gonna speak to some people who know more about this than we, and at some point down the road,
Just
they're.
get some legal
Right,
advice.
we'll know
on
how to
how
approach
proceed.
this person who refuses to file the COC. Very good, thank you.
So,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
CC status update on hazard mitigation and municipal vulnerability preparedness plans. Probably continue or move this to the next,
Yeah,
I would love to,
no,
but
but
the status report for this, I believe, is due before our next meeting. And some,
yeah, carry on, Jessica.
I've been in bed for 30 minutes every night this week before right now, so I want to go just as much as you. But
Let's get through this one then.
I vote we just do it, because there's gonna, I mean, we have
Yes.
another 5 weeks before the next meeting too, so the next one's gonna be just as full. So, sorry.
Next.
Will you be in Florida next week?
yes.
I
she
will
will
be,
be.
yeah. But I'll-
Okay, so what do we need to do to,
I might be too.
Then we'll meet there instead.
My motorhome is called.
What do you need us to do?
Matt, do you want to pull up the table and fill it in as we go through it quickly?
Sure.
We heard that.
Sorry.
We heard that.
I'm just thinking, James hasn't eaten.
We have a mandatory referral to do too,
Yeah, we
so.
gotta do that.
Oh, those are easy, don't worry.
Those are fast.
Hartley, can Matt have screen sharing, please?
I need to get a drink.
Okay, Matt, you want to screen share, correct? Okay.
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, you're all set.
Thank you.
It's here also. Except for the people watching on YouTube and channel 7 or 9 or whatever.
All right.
Probably shut
You
us
guys
off.
are seeing that?
A little long one. We haven't had a long one like this in a long time.
You zoom in.
Yep.
What exactly are we doing right now?
So, Beth Paxton, who came to us months ago with this.
Right.
You know, I think I speak on behalf, well, that's not much has been done since then. She needs to, because this is like a grant or something, I think she has an annual status report that's due
Right.
soon-ish. So she needs to provide status updates of what of these action items have been completed, or just what the status is. So we need to go through as the Conservation Commission and make note of which ones that there has been action pursued, or, you know, our goals for it or something. So we can bust through it quickly.
Well, I think it's pretty easy that anything that requires money, like that one with $5 signs, is not gonna happen because we don't have any. So maybe we could just say a blanket, anything that requires, like, pursue land acquisition and buy more land that we don't look at us.
Is this something that,
Dam safety, we have
We're
what,
gonna kick in-
one dam in town?
Let's say like 9.
Or,
Well,
well, yeah,
just-
The Conservation Commission has no funds. Is that fair? Yeah.
is this something that can be done offline too? Like we could,
well,
it's not
I
like
know.
we take a vote on it, right?
I could maybe look into it offline and then send like a draft to you guys. And then if you had any edits, you could send them to me maybe.
Okay,
That's what we want to do instead.
yeah,
Or Jessica.
sounds good to me.
oh, hold on. No, we'll do this real quick.
We can just go through.
Nothing on
Right.
our behalf or.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get
Sorry, Dan
Jessica
safety.
home to go to
That-
bed and James to eat dinner. Sorry. Just trying to get that done.
Good point, James.
But I'm also on Linda's side.
Yep.
I don't want to keep kicking the can down the road with something like this.
No, I want them to do it, but I don't think the whole board has to be doing this.
But James, say what you just said again. I don't think Matt heard that.
What, the dam safety?
Yeah, we approved the Adams Dam work.
Okay.
The erosion.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right, too.
Okay.
And then there was another item I remember from the last time we looked at this about invasives or something, and we're addressing that in our Don't You Know, that we plan to be publishing.
Okay, but that's not under the
Let's-
dam safety.
Let's go through the order.
Okay, go through the
So,
order.
Okay.
the dam safety I can think of,
Pursue
Okay.
land acquisition in the floodplain once the dams are removed. I mean, I don't think
there's no dams to be removed.
Dams for removal, dam removal, yeah.
What?
So Matt, just write approved work at Adams Dam for stream bank stabilization.
That's nice.
God, you guys are gonna see my awful spelling here. Okay. Here we go.
I don't care.
Okay.
Okay, next.
Next one, municipal buildings and services.
Oh, that's not us. That
Well, no, it
didn't-
says all departments employ
Oh, all
additional staff
departments,
for
sorry,
training. So
right.
when was this originally done?
This was in 2020.
We've employed an awesome admin and an awesome agent.
Yes.
Right.
Write that exactly how I said that.
Well, and we did have a land use coordinator for a minute,
Look, that-
for 10 months.
Doesn't count.
So you can put hired a high quality conservation agent and
Yeah.
administrator.
Like bolded, highlighted.
Super high quality.
Super high quality.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going.
How about that? All right, state forests.
As part of the forest health assessment, identify species that can tolerate warmer conditions. NA.
Well, no, we have discussed that. We're working on it.
Who is?
That's good species, that's native species, that's not.
Identify species that can tolerate warmer conditions. We are addressing that because we talked about it at the last meeting and I said I was gonna look that up.
Okay.
Progress.
Work in progress.
Progress, good.
And identifying warmer tolerance species.
So assess wildfire risk and plan for fire mitigation. We've approved tree cutting plans.
Yeah.
And that's ongoing, put ongoing.
Yeah.
Create replacement plan for lost trees, investigate.
Spell check tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I do remember talking about this now. Investigate appropriate replacement species that will be able to withstand future warmer climate.
Yes.
Yes,
climate.
we did.
Street.
We are developing a list.
In progress.
We're developing a list so we can actually add it to our order of conditions in the future.
Just leave it in progress.
Oh,
That's fine.
please.
Build a town committee that will involve local families and kids with help with planting. Rail Trail did this
Yes.
at Depot Street.
Uh,
Increase,
Rail Trail at Depot Street involved family volunteers. Family with kids. volunteers.
increase public awareness of Scenic Roads Act and on benefits of trees.
Well, when we got the, I worked on that grant that we brought in for the winter shared streets and spaces. And we had a public meetings about it. And we discussed beautifying and preserving and things like that. Maintaining and, natural.
Design. Oh, yeah, okay, so design new street trees with adequate planters, root space, continuous planting, subsoil.
Wouldn't that be the tree?
I don't think
warden?
we've-
That would be
And
the
a-
tree warden, not us.
No,
No, our name's on it though.
Yeah, but.
yes, it also should be planning board, because they're the ones in charge of.
I don't,
Correct.
I mean, if a tree gets
haven't done
taken
any
down,
trees.
if a tree
What?
gets taken down, we should probably think of what kind of tree we want to put back.
Yeah, the bold is supposed to be the main
Yeah.
enforcement,
Oh, okay.
so it's supposed to be the tree warden, but
Never mind.
But if it's under
Thank you.
jurisdiction, we can't have.
Yeah.
Right,
Say in it anyway.
right.
Preserve and protect wetlands,
Boom.
ongoing,
Every second.
Each and every minute
ongoing.
of every day.
Allow developments that protect the wetlands, ongoing.
Yep,
Strengthen zoning bylaws, to protect wetlands, ongoing.
haven't had any luck with that.
No, it's ongoing.
Oh, zoning. I don't know
We're
what's
on
zoning.
ours, but.
Why don't we know what zoning? We don't know.
I think, yeah,
Ongoing work.
ours are zoning.
There's gonna be no zoning changes in this town, probably
Right,
that are-
forever.
huge, huge.
Acquire land in the wetland areas to prevent development. We have no money.
Acquired. Yeah.
Well,
No,
no,
but we can work with different organizations to have them acquire the land, like we've done in the past. I mean, a third of our town is open space and it didn't happen because conservation wasn't involved.
One was, never mind, I'm not gonna ask this question. We don't have time.
And
Well, no, I'm not trying to rush this, but I'm also not trying to get myself into trouble.
Just
There's no funding.
Yeah, I mean, we have.
So-
In the town, we as a conservation commission have so much land that we can't even manage.
Yeah.
Why are we gonna pursue it anymore?
That's valid point.
because that's what we do. That's just what we do.
But is it in our interest as a commission? We have this list of, and I'm not minimizing this, Linda. We have this list of little postage stamp lots in Timberley Park that Jessica and Matt went on field trip after field trip.
I know, they're awful.
It's okay.
Well, but let's say someone approached us with some land that they knew was important. Right? And we said, oh, well, we'll go try to find
Excuse me for a moment.
get a grant or something to buy it from you.
But
Or
as a
work with some
commission,
land
we wanna-
trusts.
Right,
Right,
Or Fisheries and Wildlife, or
Right.
DSR, you know, we'll work with them. I mean, that's part of our mission is that we do that, and so it's not that there's no funding.
And it's-
We're always looking for more land to acquire. But
or
we're
but
being
we've also
aggressive about it.
assisted in conservation restrictions, like,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Robinson's.
Farm.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
So we could say, you know, that,
assistant conservation restrictions.
and,
Oh, we also demand conservation restrictions.
and,
Even though the planning board's
always looking for land that we can acquire or can be made to be, you know, open space.
Okay.
I don't, hey, you see a spell check? I have to write stuff, then I know.
Yeah.
No, we're good. Keep
Thank
going.
you.
Develop plans for bank restoration and stabilization to protect waterways and support habitat. That's the Adams Dam.
STAM project.
And, well, 2020, so Squanicook Greenways also has that in their plans for their final, leg of the trail between,
Adam's
South
Dam,
Street
Matt,
and-
on the one, the
Yeah.
new one.
I'm still there.
Adam's Dam restoration project.
all right, we filled that out.
Right? Good.
Well, and you, I mean, you could throw in there, right, add in orders of conditions to homeowners as and when
You're
required.
getting tired here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can fill it. I can fill it out
We
myself
done
too.
with that?
Yeah.
Cool
Yeah.
beans. Thank you.
We're all tired.
A little tired, man.
And yeah, I'm not trying to rush that. That's
No, you did good.
short and sweet.
Yeah.
3.5, planning board mandatory referral, 5 Turnpike Road for site plan review, special permit and stormwater management permit. This was on our plate last year. It was right when Jessica started.
Yes, I remember that.
Seems to be here again.
Who's 5 Turnpike?
It's the apartment center. So, Jessica, please.
Yes, so I took a more thorough look of this property and where they're proposing all work is outside of our buffers.
So it's non-jurisdictional.
Correct.
Okay, that's our comment.
Was it a septic upgrade?
Parking lot.
No.
They're,
They want to redo the parking lot, and they've been trying to do it, but
the last time, the last year ago or whatever, when they first submitted this, they were trying to get an exemption from needing a stormwater permit. And I believe that was withdrawn or denied. But this time it's a new application for a stormwater permit, so.
I
They're
make it,
just they're adding a few new parking spaces in, and then they're also adding like a stormwater basin.
good.
so no comment.
It's not I make, the comment should be it's not jurisdictional.
I can't spell that.
I can write it out on Friday morning if you want to. Just sign a blank check, James.
Juris,
Spot for,
Juris. VICT.
3.6, that's just.
Yeah.
3.6, planning board mandatory referral, which I don't see it in this folder unless it's all together.
25 Harvard
For the
Drive.
PFAS.
Yeah,
Oh, no, that's-
for a
that's
stormwater
another-
management permit for the construction of the harbor trace. It's in there, is that
Oh,
the,
yeah. But.
What should our comment be, miss?
That one. You guys rely on me really heavily.
Yes, we do.
No, this one, it's just, the stormwater permit is for coverage for the water treatment plant. They are exempt from needing coverage for the water line portion, because as it's a utility, but that's an exemption in the planning bylaw or the stormwater bylaw. But where the water treatment plant is going is outside of any buffers for us, so I don't believe it to be in a jurisdictional location also, so we have comments, great, like about endangered species or whatnot, but otherwise, none.
But there's
Um,
endangered species. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
And before everyone goes, I have a packet, a folder of stuff we have to sign.
all right, so the comment, is, be sure natural heritage endangered species information is adhered to.
Here to HCSP recommendations. Or follow. We didn't make a motion on the last one.
On 3-4?
3-5, I had,
3-5, we did not make a motion. 3-5,
Right, we
3-4, whatever. We just had to fill that out.
So-
I don't mean whatever.
So I make a motion for item 3.5 for the 25 Harbor Trace, planning board.
No.
meeting.
Five Turnpike Road.
I'll let somebody else.
turnpike.
I'm done.
Five Turnpike. Can you make the motion, please?
Uh,
3.5.
3.5?
Yeah, we didn't motion for that.
For Harbor Trace.
No, 5 Turnpike Road.
Oh,
Site plan review.
3.4.
Get no.
Oh,
comment.
3.5.
Make a motion that for, 5 Turnpike Road, for the site plan review would be no comment.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Roll call vote, please.
I thought the comment was gonna be it's not jurisdictional.
Oh.
I don't care. Savoy, yes.
No, we do care, but it gives me a box that I can check, no comment.
Oh, yeah, you're right, you're right. Savoy, yes.
James Gates, yes.
No question.
Kevin, yes.
Linda, yes.
3.6, planning board mandatory referral, 25 Harbor Trace application for stormwater management.
That's 3.5.
No, it's 3.6.
Oh, I don't have 3.6 on mine.
No, I don't need like 3.5.
Yeah, I know, I was looking.
I do.
I printed-
We had last minute changes to the agenda. I think that's the
Oh,
hang up.
okay.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
'cause I got 3.6.
Because I tried to change it Monday morning.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Oh,
In
man.
discussion
Great.
with James and Jessica, I had to change it. My
Oh,
apologies.
so our comment was follow national heritage, recommendations.
Yes.
Second.
I didn't make a motion.
Oh,
You can.
I can, I
You're
thought
allowed
I
to.
could. I make a
Yeah.
motion to write comment, follow national heritage, recommendations, for the 25 Harbor Trace, planning board referral, for the stormwater management plan.
second.
Roll call vote, please.
Savoy, yes.
Jamal, yes.
James Gates, yes.
McQuarrie, yes.
Kevin Smith, yes.
Linda, yes. How would an applicant know to get in touch with Natural Heritage? Isn't it just on a conservation notice of intent?
I mean, they'll probably use the same response letter. It's all the same engineer for this
Yeah,
project.
no, I just wondered if that, when you go before the planning board, is that something they,
You
know what I mean?
No, but that's why they do the referrals to the other. Right? I mean. that's
yeah,
how
no,
I-
that's fine.
4.1. Unitold public notice of yearly operational plan.
I have a comment about that. When you look at the map of where they're gonna be spraying, there are a ton of water bodies in that area. That was really surprising to me. Like, so they, since it's utility maintenance, they can go ahead and do whatever they want.
11th of January.
He's booking his.
You know what I'm saying, Jessica?
Yeah, I don't really know what exemptions
Sure.
utility companies get, but I think it's a lot of them.
I think it's a lot of them.
Yeah,
So the fact that all those water bodies, Linda, the fact that all those water bodies are there, that's not jurisdictional at all? No, because it's
No.
a utility.
Right.
Right.
But
Utility, they can do what they want.
they also should be submitting, SDS sheets if they're not already in that correspondence.
I
This is
didn't-
all we have so far.
I didn't see that in the correspondence. Okay. Thank you.
You know what the SDS sheets are, Rachel?
Yeah, I used to have to do those for my court.
But in the notification letter from Unitil, there is a hyperlink that you guys can go to like review their actual plans. There might be more information of where they're. I mean, it's not like they're gonna take helicopters and just like drop buckets of herbicide over. They would love to. James wants to.
No, I'm thinking chemtrails. No, no, they can't do that. They know and that's not,
So, and you have to.
There'd be
have-
no reason for them to do it, basically.
So, I mean, I think it's best practice to make sure you have like a certified herbicide applicator doing this, so.
oh yeah, no.
No one would
these-
like be pouring their backpack of like rat poison into
Okay.
a screen.
Thank you for answering my question.
Yeah, so, and it even says, please advise us if they've missed any, so they can establish permanent records. And implement, appropriate field protective actions. It is not in the Unitil's interest to poison anything. Yeah, it outlines no spray areas. I've had good luck with the Unitil Forester. They're just trying to maintain
Yeah,
the transmission lines.
Yep.
I'm good.
Anyone else? Okay. Article on Redonian Park Invasives Workshop. It's in the correspondence folder on the.
That was pretty interesting. It was really, there's some really good points. I encourage everybody to take a good look at that.
What?
Has to not go back. I didn't.
The Volta picture, it's not too many words.
Oh, good. Pictures are good.
Wild and Scenic Community Grants Program 2023.
Well, that came in from Joan.
Yep,
Yeah.
please
Walker,
think of-
Joan W.
Please think about any projects related to the Squanicook River that the commission might want to seek funding for. These are small grants up to $5,000, although we might increase the amount slightly this year. Townsend has been well represented in grant awards among the wild and scenic towns. I believe that's how they did Adams Dam, right? The first
Yep.
round.
Yep.
So. ZBA transmittal of decision regarding 5 Madison Ave. Please find attached the notice of decision and decision for a special permit to allow an accessory apartment at 5 Madison Ave.
Should the comment be we approve?
There's no comment,
No comment.
just the transmittal.
All right, okay. Right. Thank you.
ZBA transmittal of decision regarding 478 Main Street. Please find attached the notice of decision and decision for a special permit to operate a dog grooming establishment in a residential district.
I was glad to see they're not allowed to compost the dog poo anymore.
A nice little shop there. Beautiful little shop.
Oh, excuse me, I'm confusing this with the other thing with the,
We're getting there.
yeah, with that one. Yeah, no, she has, I take my dog there. She's great. This woman down at the end of town in West Townsend, she's fabulous. I'm really glad this finally got put to bed. It took forever to get this through because they had to change the bylaw or whatever. It wasn't, anyway, she deserves it.
It's a good place.
75
Yeah,
this way.
very nice. Except I think she's so, if you call to make an appointment, she says if you're not an existing client, I can't take you right now. Maybe she's changed it, so,
No.
but yeah, she's been doing very well. Which is great.
Doing a great job.
Yeah, she's great.
Need more people like that.
She's great.
Yeah. ZBA notice of public hearing regarding 75 Pierce Road.
That already happened.
Yeah, that already happened. I'm not even
We
gonna read it.
got this after our last.
No, that's
meeting,
good.
Sorry.
Is this coming in front of us anyways at some point or no?
It was, we already did the referral for it, and I believe we had no comment. But it is continued to sometime in January, I think, when the ZBA has their next hearing, in case anyone is interested. But it's an accessory apartment or in-law apartment.
4.7. Board of Health decision regarding 227 Mason Road. Oh,
I'm really glad they had, they
I-
compost that dog.
Oh, you gave it away. Dog, as a condition of their approval, they required the following. So the board determined that 25 pupil day school is essentially equivalent flow in design flow to proposed 25 commercial dog kennel. Dog feces manure must be disposed of in a covered dumpster. The dumpster must be emptied as needed so as not to create a nuisance. There shall be no nuisances created as a result of the proposed use. There may be no potential hazards in the area accessible to dogs, hazardous materials, choking hazards. Flooring in the area accessible to the dogs must be smooth, impervious, and easily cleanable. Title V inspection of the existing septic must be completed and results submitted to Board of Health with approved form. Which we no more than 25 dogs at the facility at any time. The board must complete an inspection to determine that the above conditions have been met prior to occupancy use. All right. And Joan, I know Joan was
Sounds like
passionate
the
about that,
right
so-
thing happened.
Yeah,
Good.
oh, it's very concerning.
Oh, we're down to the last and final.
No, we're not.
No, we're gonna sign
There's
off.
another sheet and then you get signed some stuff. MACC dues amount for fiscal year 2024. The dues are $305 for the year.
Okay,
So someone want to make a motion to,
make a motion that we pay the MACC dues amount for fiscal year 2024.
second,
Second,
roll call vote, please.
Savoy, yes.
Pat Joe, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Jim McCoy, yes.
Okay, yes.
Linda, yes.
I don't think we've gotten the invoice yet. That's just like a heads up. This is how much.
When it comes, you can pay it.
Is there an extra pen?
There's a pen.
We're all gonna need them because we gotta roll this stuff right.
All
through.
right, you gotta sign.
Let's see if we can do it in record time. Stat here and I'll send it your way.
Education and conferences, yeah, items for discussion at next meeting. We have, what is it, 158 Main Street, Dock McGee's?
Yep.
Probably, yeah.
No, yeah, well. Clock's ticking, you gotta get figured out.
Is there, are we doing anything? I keep hearing that the walkway is going to happen, maybe across the Squanicook with the rail trail? Or there's been some hearings about it. Are we going to have that before us?
That came in front of us
Long
last,
time ago?
What, at the old Twin Bridges behind Sterilite?
no,
what they're talking
no,
about?
No, on
Lower Meeting House, Lower
Meeting House Road.
Oh, that was reintroduced to the Board
Yeah.
of Selectmen, but we do not have any application updates for Conscom, so until we get anything, there's no need, I think, for us to look at it.
no, and I know my comment at that last hearing was no, nothing until National Heritage weighed in, because
So natural heritage isn't happening for a year? Is that true?
What?
Like the hearing was supposed to be, not the Natural Heritage, sorry.
But-
Fisheries and Wildlife, the Wildlife Management Area, that's off for a year?
Yep.
Next
Okay.
September.
Okay, good.
So next meeting is Wednesday, January 11th, 2023, 7 PM, Board of Select Chambers, second floor. And we'll be in Florida and we'll be able to join us. Just so we know.
But I'll be back for the following meeting.
And please keep an eye on emails from Jessica about site visits. We need
Yeah,
more commissioners to join. So we need a motion to adjourn in a second, please.
Make a motion to adjourn at 9:20. I'll second it.
Roll call vote, please.
Joan Savoy, enthusiastic, yes.
Jamal, yes.
James Gates, yes.
Humphrey, yes.
Kevin Smith? Yes.
Linda Mack, absolutely.